The Dragon's Keeping Us Sane by Itslivybear. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. Therapy isn't working out for Tim. Possibly because he has, way too many issues. So Dinah suggests he try music therapy instead. This turns out to be such a good idea. He drafts it to his team, and suddenly, he's moonlighting as a rock singer in a band that's rising in popularity. Maintaining a new secret identity is easy enough, and he's having a lot of fun. Unfortunately for Tim, it seems he's a bit too good at the secret identity thing, because his family doesn't seem to realize that it's him. Ugh, this is just proving his point. This fic is about 7,500 words and one chapter. This fic is rated teen and up audiences and no archive warnings apply. As always, link to the fic is in the description, and on with the story. Therapy really wasn't working for Tim, so Black Canary suggested something a little different. He was, of course, incredibly skeptical that singing your feelings or writing your emotions through music would be the best choice for him, especially because, aside from a few years of forced violin practice he abandoned to try flute, he abandoned to try guitar, the one he stuck with 2 actual years, he didn't consider himself competent at it. Kon said that was because he was too much of a perfectionist, but Tim's thoughts were getting off topic, and what did Kon know anyway? But aside from those years, he considered himself without musical talent. And, well, maybe Kon had a point about his perfectionist tendencies, because if he was going to do this in lieu of therapy, he was going to do it right, damn it. His first few songs were mediocre at best, cringy at worst, like he was still a middle schooler instead of a high school dropout. Well, he was already getting the bad boy aesthetic down. He snickered. "No, Mom, Dad," he murmured mockingly. "I don't need school, I just need my band." Not that he had one, he mused, but if he did, he could probably fund it all on his own, even if they had no fans. He'd probably go by a dumb pseudonym that barely hid his identity, something edgy, like Dragon maybe as a play off Drake. Wearing green and black, a passable disguise so no one knew that Tim Drake, CEO of Wayne Enterprises, was moonlighting as an edgy rock singer. Yeah, right. But if he was going to do this thought experiment, he'd have to fill the band with people he trusted. He could brush up on his guitar skills, the only instrument he'd actually liked. Maybe add some keyboard to his repertoire. Could he convince Bruce that learning the piano was just him trying to get a hobby that didn't involve work or going out into the city like a crazed stalker kid? Not that Bruce knew about the photography hobby he had been neglecting since becoming Robin, and then Red Robin, but still. Okay, sure, that was 2 instruments he had, but he would need drums, bass, and possibly another guitar or keyboard in case he couldn't, or they needed to switch it up. Or a singer, since Tim didn't know how good his singing actually was, and there was no way his family would be objective if he asked them. He immediately pulled up his phone to look up piano lessons online as he wandered into the dining room. He swiped down briefly to check the time and winced. Master Tim. "Hey, Alfred," he said, thinking fast. "Do we have, instruments in the house?" Alfred hummed. "Indeed. There's a music room in the west wing, on the 3rd floor. One of the solariums was repurposed for that reason. Are you interested in taking up an instrument again?" Again? No, never mind. Tim knew Alfred knew pretty much everything. This was a fact. He nodded. "Trying out music therapy. Don't get me wrong, the regular stuff is fine, just not for me." "Of course, Master Tim." Alfred nodded sagely. "Are your friends engaging in this as well?" Tim blinked. Huh. Kon could probably use some therapy. Bart and Cassie, too. Wait a minute. He immediately switched apps and types out a message in the group chat. Do any of you play an instrument? Cassie finished the drum rep and nodded, twirling the sticks. Good. I like it. Feels powerful. Bart nodded rapidly. And add in Kon and we're so crash. The deep notes of the bass guitar sang out as Kon hummed. This is actually kind of nice. I'm still not great, though. Tim snorted. Better than me. Bart humiliated me on guitar, and I'm still only the intermediate training for piano. Bart laughed, putting his hands behind his head and tilting his nose into the air. I've been playing guitar for years, Timmy boy. Plus, all this music practice is making me feel like we're an actual band instead of a band of heroes. I wonder what our band name would be. No. Tim shook his hands. We are not forming a band. We're just doing therapy. Besides, we'd have to come up with something that didn't tie back to our identities. Cassie eyed him. He shifted defensively. What? You already have a name. No, I don't. She smirked as Bart immediately latched on. You do? Tell me. It's not even a thing. He groaned, knowing Bart would just get more annoying. Just a stupid thought months ago. One you're still thinking about, Cassie pointed out. Meaning you haven't come up with anything better. Kon slowly broke into a grin. You have thought about a band. Oh, Tim, it's been over a month and you haven't told us yet? I thought we were your band members. If we were a band, Tim viciously jabbed a finger in his direction. It would be our band, not just me and my entourage. Our band. Ours. I'm hearing a distinct lack of name, Bart said innocently. And I would hate to have to abandon our band before we even started. Again, there is no band, Tim insisted. But if you really want to know my stupid, edgy, middle schooler-esque name, it was Dragon, which we can't use because it's too close to who I actually am. Bart was the first to laugh, and Tim felt his face and neck grow hot. No, Cassie hummed, still traces of mirth in her voice. I like it. Your fans would be called the Horde. Kon snapped his fingers. I've got the band name. The Dragon's Keeping Us Sane. True, Bart crowed as Tim buried his face in his hands. This has actually been really nice. And, like you said, it's therapy. Too on the nose, Cassie snorted. Maybe just shorten it to Dragon's Keep. We know the full name, but it's more appropriate for a wider audience. Are you guys actually considering this? Tim was on the verge of despair, but something in him fluttered a little at the thought. Like, for real, making a band, having a new set of secret identities. The works? Kon shrugged. Why not? It's a healthy way to express our emotions and develop a skill, according to Dinah, right? I mean, yes, he agreed reluctantly. But this is a commitment, and we'd have to write music, and, well, I could fund us. I could probably hide a tour bus in the battering budget. He trailed off, thinking of the numbers, but was jolted back by Kon's voice. But you've already written, 3 songs. His head snapped up. What? Damn, his voice hadn't cracked since he was 15. Kon nodded thoughtfully. And pretty fast, too. If you keep writing at the same rate, by the time Cassie and I are better at our instruments, we'll have enough for a full album. What? Kon glanced at him and smirked. You sounded nice, Tim. Tim felt like he was actually on fire, like an actual dragon, had breathed on him and he was cooking. Bart gasped. I want to hear. Come on. You can't let Kon have all the fun. And the band needs a singer, so we have to figure out who the best one is. They're so bad, he whined. I sound like an edgy middle schooler. I sound like Damien. Cassie smirked. We're not going to stop bugging you until you sing, dragon. If your fans are going to be called the Horde, consider us your first members. Bart gasped. We can be gemstones. I'll be Topaz. We can figure out names later. Kon waved him off. Not that it isn't a good idea, but first, Tim has to prove himself. If he's going to be the dragon, he has to earn it. Tim huffed. Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you, though. He took a deep breath. The crowd screamed as Tim heaved for air, backing away from the microphone with a triumphant grin. The lights were hot, and his heart was pounding, but it was nice to hear a crowd screaming and have it not be in fear. He raised a fist in the air, and the noise got impossibly louder, and he could only chuckle. He glanced back at his friends to see Kon running a hand through his hair, and so many people squealed. We love you, Cobalt! Kon smirked and blew a kiss, lowering his sunglasses to wink, and several people fainted. Tim rolled his eyes, and they swept backstage, pulses high. Man, it never gets better than this. Bart laughed breathlessly. Why didn't we do this years ago? Awesome music and a literal horde of fans. Cassie groaned. That joke wasn't funny the first 70 times, Paz. It's not going to be funny the 71st. The fans think it's funny, he muttered, giving her a mock glare, but unable to fight his grin. And that's all that matters. I'm glad someone does, she said sweetly, because otherwise you'd be a sad little man. Ruby! She snickered. Kidding, but if you were, we just have more song ammunition. Tim snorted. You know, Dinah told me she always tries to figure out which songs is for which person, but I don't have the heart to tell her we haven't gotten through even half of mine yet. Kon chuckled. We're gonna have to start putting at least one of our songs on each album. We're never gonna get there. We wrote all our gripes for 3 hours. You wrote for 3 days. I have a lot of things to work through, he protested weakly. How was I supposed to know that? I mean, it was pretty obvious. Yeah, you're pretty moted. Which is saying something, coming from us. Tim laughed nervously. Psh, I'm fine. So good at keeping secrets, so good at telling lies. I know who you are, but you can't see through my disguise. Bart pretended to swoon, looking heartbroken as he mockingly sang their most popular song from their first album. When not even Grandpa knows my spleen is missing, I'd say I'm pretty damn good at hiding secrets, Tim hissed, shoving his laughing friend in their dressing room. Are you sure he doesn't know? Kon raised an eyebrow. Because I'm pretty sure he knows everything. So was I, Tim shrugged. But he hasn't said anything. And you know he would if it's about my health. Not that I'm not handling it fine. No depressing talk. Cassie shoved them both. We're meeting with fans in a few minutes and just successfully debuted our 3rd album. Get into your personas and for God's sakes, Kobe, put on a shirt. I thought you said get into our personas. Cobalt never wears a shirt. He ran his hands down the cobalt blue skinny pants. Because Cobalt bears himself to the world. You're just using it to have a better disguise, she hissed. Because no one bothers looking at your face. Hurtful words, he crooned. But if I must put on a shirt. He slipped on a black button-down with sleeves already rolled up and did only the bottom 2 buttons. "Then I suppose I have to grant your wish, Rubes." She rolled her eyes and stuffed her hands into her red leather jacket, leaning against a table. "Guests arriving in 2. Their manager poked their head in. "You all ready?" Tim lounged back like a lord, feeling every inch of the confidence Dragon usually exuded, and smirked. "Of course." It wasn't like he'd never heard the band's music outside of practice, because of course he did. They signed a record deal and the radios played their songs as well, and he knew they obviously had fans. He still got excited over it, because Kon may have a tiny point in that Tim always wanted everything to be perfect, and that meant he was already pleased when the band was doing well, and he had clear evidence of that fact with people listening to their music on repeat. But hearing it in the manner really wigged him out. He slowly followed the music to the garage and almost passed out to see Jason, of all people, bobbing around to it. "What do you want, Timbers?" Tim tried not to stutter. "You, like Dragon's Keep?" Jason scoffed. "That's it? Yeah, obviously. The second album literally has a song about hating clowns. It's my favorite thing." "Why? Not your style, huh?" Tim swallowed. No, just surprised you like them, is all." "Are we talking about Dragon's Keep?" Steph practically launched herself into the doorway. "I heard the music and I just had to come over. I can't believe there's another Stan in the manor. Jason, who's your bias? Your ship?" Jason furrowed his eyebrows. "Use actual words, please." Steph rolled her eyes. "I forgot how old you were. Jeez. Who's your favorite? And who do you think is in a relationship?" He scoffed. "Dragon, obviously. And he has to be dating Paz." She gasped. "You ship Dragon with Topaz? No way. Topaz and Ruby for the win. He practically dotes on her." Jason rolled his eyes. "They all dote on each other. But have you seen the way Dragon just stares at him during the few rap sections? Makes sense that a dragon appreciates someone who can spit fire." She cringed. "Please never say that again, old man. Tim, do you like them?" Tim was busy trying to function properly. Jason scoffed. "Timberlina? Like something so edgy? No way. I'm surprised you like them. But Mr. Boring CEO over here probably listens to classical, and that's it." "Aww," Steph laughed. "I mean, he is kind of more a pop person. It's true. And I started listening to them because they're all hot. Like, woof. Cobalt really leaves nothing to the imagination, huh? But they grew on me for sure. Angsty vibes. Sometimes you just want to rage against the world." Tim nodded slowly. "I'm gonna go. You guys have fun talking about this." "Wait," Steph called. "You should totally listen to them too. You might not vibe with them right away, but it'd be super awesome to have someone else to talk about who doesn't think Topaz and Dragon are together. Seriously, Jason, that's so dumb." "The sexual tension is there." Tim kind of wanted to die. His phone going off prevented that, and he scowled. Kon should not be laughing at him this hard. "Lucius?" Tim hissed into the lab space. "Why doesn't Bruce know I'm in a band? Hell, why doesn't anyone in the manor know?" The head of business management hummed idly. "Clark doesn't know either. Dinah does, because Cassie assumed you all would tell your guardians, but I guess she forgot that you all have a few problems with said guardians." Tim ran a hand through his hair. "And everyone else? Why hasn't Bruce or anyone noticed the budget changes? He smiled. I think the few things you don't use your own money for are all excellent uses of company funding. And besides, you put the money right back into the company. Also, consider that they have no reason to believe it's you. It's literally me in a ripped t-shirt, skinny jeans, and eyeliner, he hissed. I don't look that different. Connor's disguise is sunglasses and no shirt. Cassie just wears a hat. Bart isn't even hiding it. He's just dressed nicer and with a lot more gold and brown instead of red and yellow. Lucius shrugged. People see what they want to see. How's the new sound system working? Tim huffed. Excellent, of course. The cords work better too. Have we fixed the mic issues? Just yesterday, he confirmed. Ready to be used in comms. Or on stage. He scrubbed a hand down his face. Okay, thanks. I have to get back to work. Fucking board members. He stopped on his way out, staring into space. I'm not a kid, even if I look young, he murmured. So don't patronize me, think I'm under your thumb. He hurled the words into the new and improved mic, with expert-level sound quality, as he pranced around stage. He let himself get lost in the words as he eyed Bart. Might as well give Steph a hard time, he thought with an evil smirk, as he leaned into his guitarist. Watch the clip, Steph. Watch the fucking clip. I'm right. La 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 la. I can't hear you. Rube has forever. I've noticed you wrote in your journal about the time an evil version of Batman came from an alternate future. Tim sucked in a breath and let out a shaky laugh. Bad idea, Dinah. Bad idea. She cocked her head. It's obviously a trauma for you. Tim was already running potential lyrics in his head. No, he insisted. This is a bad idea. That's not a song I should write. She chuckled. You already have half written it, haven't you? This is such a bad idea, he whispered. The song started slow and mournful, cautious even. He could feel the crowd hanging on every word. I've been so good for so long, made sure we all got along, made sure I did it all right, avoided living for the fight, took care to follow the rules, I didn't covet the jewels, but something inside knows the truth. How easy it would be to. He grinned into the chorus as the vibes immediately changed. Ruin everything, just go bad. See the other side, give it all I have. Been so good, left my demons warring. Being an angel just gets so boring. I've seen how new things could be if I let it get away from me. If being so good only gets me this, should I indulge in what I could miss? The crowd said yes, but he knew that the right answer was, holy shit, no? Still fun. Darkness has never looked so sweet. Now it's good enough to eat. Fighting against it every day, making sure I don't give in to the sway. It would be so easy to fall, to give in to the siren call. But I know that I'd just be fought. It goes against all I've been taught. He sang the chorus again, really playing it up and pouring his heart and soul into it because, damn it, being evil was so fucking easy, and he knew for a goddamn fact that if he got too close to the line, he'd trip over and never look back. Which, bad. Bart and Cassie tore it up in the instrumental part before the music came full circle and softened, the lights dimming to reflect as the energy slowly quieted. I told myself I'd stay strong to fight against the song. Ignore how easy it'd be to forget and just be free. My morals hold me back from going on the attack. They all would fall to me, but that's not how I want to be. Message with Dinah. You were evil Batman? It was a bad idea, but it was also very fun and now popular. So, Tim, why did you let me talk you into that? Ha! You talked me into nothing. That song practically wrote itself. I've never been more worried in my life. See you tomorrow. Steph burst into the game room. Damien Alguel Wayne! The youngest huffed and didn't look up from the screen. What is it, Brown? I'm defeating the worms in Mario Kart. You listen to Dragon's Keep? Jason started. Really? Weird, demon brat. Dick scrunched up his nose. Their music is so angry. Steph snorted. Duh, they have a lot to say. Anyway, Damie, answer the question. Damien scowled. I don't see why this is relevant to Mario Kart, but yes, the song about having to hide emotions for risk of being a disappointment spoke to me. Perhaps Richard is correct and the music is very angry, but I find myself to be a generally angry person. Jason snorted. Mood. Steph squealed. Who's your bias and what's your ship? What? You and Jason both? Favorite and relationship you think they're in. Ah, he hummed. Yes, Ruby. And I assumed they were in a polyamorous relationship. Your favorite is Ruby. Jason scoffed. I didn't think you were into drummers. Or is it because she's the only girl? Damien sniffed. She has much passion. I would think that she would be your favorite as well, Todd, since her favorite leather jacket seems to be your style. Hell no. I'm a basic bitch. Dragon's the front runner, which means he's the best. Steph, are you okay? She was vibrating. Why didn't I consider a polycule? Oh my god, this opens so many options. Jason huffed. Drag Paz. I stand by it. Jesus, Timmy, is your controller broken? You never fall off the map this much. He coughed. Oh, good. Maybe he's like me and just doesn't like the music, Dick said, jabbing the buttons aggressively. I don't know. So, Dick just has bad taste, Steph said firmly. But I didn't think Tim knew much about them. Maybe he's just listening too hard and can't focus on the game. Maybe he took up my offer and listened? No. He cut her off. I mean, I know their music. Dick, you don't like them? They, he grimaced, remind me of a version of myself I don't like. Oh, he tried not to choke on his next inhale. Yeah, that makes sense. I've got Duke hooked, Steph prattled. And Bab said it's not her genre, but likes a couple of their songs. I love the one on Topaz's album about losing everyone and only finding that one person they knew. Chills. Jason scowled. Topaz album? Yeah, the fourth one. That's the featured gem on the album cover, so people are calling it the Topaz album. Cobalt's the fifth one, Ruby's got sixth. Maybe we'll get a dragon album for the next one. Tim tried not to snort. Technically, they were all dragon albums. The prominent gems on the album covers had just been won for the one song they each got. The song Steph had been referencing was the actual Topaz song, about Bart coming back in time after everyone died and meeting a young Tim. Fun times. Not. I win again. Damien tossed aside his remote after just coming in first, Dick and Jason right behind him. Brown, perhaps you should play to give the others a chance. It seems Drake is no longer interested in the game. He stood up abruptly. Yeah, just thinking about a case and work. I think I'll call it a night. Boo, Steph pouted, but still scooped up his abandoned controller and settled into his vacated seat. Listen to them while you work. You'll like them. I'll be okay, he said weakly. I kind of want to focus. On anything but this conversation. Oh my God. She booed him out of the room before devolving into cackles as the four of them started another race. Jason and Steph had been bad enough. The person who could have been his brother but tried to kill him, and his ex. But now Damien too? And Dick didn't like them? That hurt more than Tim thought it would. He sighed. He really did have work to do, though. Maybe it would distract him. Holy shit, is that unreleased merch? Tim jumped and cursed for letting Jason sneak up on him, shoving the shirt back into the box. Is this how it all came out? It's not what it looks like. Jason scoffed. Sure it isn't. Steph was wasting her time trying to get you to listen, wasn't she? Tim swallowed. Well, I didn't want to say anything. I still can't believe you used your rich people powers to get advanced merch. He squinted. What? Jason snickered. If you were that much of a fan, Timbers, you could have just confessed. Steph's just as bad. But you do have to share your unreleased merch. Older brother tax. Right. Not what it looks like my ass. The merch is produced by Wayne Enterprises, Tim mumbled. So... Jason hummed. Yeah, that would do it. What you got? Prototypes? Mostly small accessories. And a shirt. All right, pass them over. Let's see what you got. Man, Steph and the demon are going to be so jealous. Tim could not believe the density of his family. He really and truly couldn't. Tim sifted through his mail as they all pored over the music sheets before clicking his tongue. Con, laser this for me. His friend did it without hesitation, and Tim brushed the ashes off his hands with contempt. Cassie raised an eyebrow. You didn't even read it. Who's the sender? Raish. He's still harassing you? Bart shuddered. Dude, what did you even do to get his attention? Took out a league base on my own in a couple of hours after he removed my spleen. Bart sputtered with laughter, while Kon scowled. So, what are the letters? Tim waved his hand back and forth. Half recruitment offers, half flirting. Isn't he like 1 million? Bart looked nauseous. Yeah. I would also burn those letters without reading them. Cassie gagged. That's disgusting. Tim smiled with no joy. I didn't want to say it, but I think if he figured out a way to make a baby with no woman involved, the flirting would turn into propositions. Which is worse. Bart slammed his hands down on the table and pushed off the sheet music. Okay, so emergency song about stalkers and age differences. The girls will eat it up. Tim gave a mirthless chuckle and twirled a pen, pulling out his notebook. Let's see. We can play up the dragon aspect. Think that someone's followed me, watched my every move, stalking my poor shadow like they've got something to prove. You don't get to steal me, I'm not a prize to be collected. If this is how you show affection, I'd rather be neglected. Not something shiny for you to try and keep. Stop tracing all my footsteps and watching while I sleep. Tim, he sent another letter. God damn it. He says he's flattered you wrote a song about him. Why did you read it? Tim might have gotten a little careless. They were approaching their 2-year anniversary, and he was trying to draft up the tour playlist and figure out how the hell he was going to manage to schedule around everything else he had to do. If all else failed, he could do what he did before. Simply say that he and his band team were going on a long-term mission and give them wiggle room on one side or the other so that the dates didn't line up perfectly. Because that was asking for trouble. But Arkham had just been broken out of, and that meant all hands on deck for up to the next 4 months, depending on how far their rogues got. Which, of course, was about 3 months too long for this little tour he had been planning for 2 months already. Everything was almost finalized, and tickets were set out to go on sale next week. He couldn't fuck this up. So he might have been singing to himself while scribbling, walking around the music room that only he went into, and maybe he had gotten a little louder than he thought he would because he wasn't paying attention, and maybe this was all his fault. No. His head shot up and he made eye contact with Jason. What? Jason just stared and didn't answer. No. Tim tucked the notebook away. No, what? What happened? No fucking way. He ran a hand through his hair and breathed out sharply. I can't help you if you don't tell me what's wrong. There's no fucking way you're dragon. Tim stilled and then scoffed. What are you talking about? The singer? Timothy Drake. Holy shit, you didn't even try. He felt his face flush a little. He knew that, but shut up. Try what? You're not making any sense, Jason. Kon's disguise is sunglasses. How the hell does that work? Tim swallowed. What does Kon have to do with this? Sure, he was probably busted, but maybe he could convince Jason he had been hearing things. Jason snarled. Fuck off. I'm not blind. You, Kon, Cassie, Bart. Your little team. Your band. Wow! Tim's voice was probably getting higher pitch, and damn, did he not want to be cornered in a room with Jason anymore. Could someone pick him up, please? I don't know if we'd call ourselves a band. Jesus Christ, Tim. You sound just fucking like him. I thought you were just playing the music, not performing it. You were literally singing Murdered Muse. Tim winced. Wow, okay. In hindsight, that was probably the worst pick for you to listen to. What? Jason stopped short. Why? Tim's eyes widened. No reason. Really, not quite sure what you're talking about. Jason pinched the bridge of his nose. I think we're a little past that, dragon. Wow, look at the time. I really should be getting ready for patrol. It's 4 in the afternoon. CEO work to do. You took a half day already. Alfred might want help on dinner. Jason snorted. You know, I'm the only one he might even consider letting to do that. Jesus, Timmy, I can't believe you fucking kept this from us. Who else knows? Did you just sit there listening to us talk about you? Actually, it weirded me out. He scrunched up his nose, especially when you and Steph started talking about shipping. Jason winced. Yeah, fair. But why the fuck didn't you tell us? Like, as soon as we started talking about it. Tim pushed down the fire. Maybe I wanted to see how long it would take you to fucking notice. It's not like we hid our identities very hard. Kon just took off his shirt. Cassie's wearing a hat. Bart just dresses differently. Oh, I suddenly changed my hair and put on some eyeliner and I'm unfucking recognizable. If I needed a reason to start this shit again, then I would do it. So we assume that if you did something crazy like this, you'd fucking tell us, dipshit? Jason growled. Don't fucking pin this on us. For what? Not noticing you? Didn't think you were getting enough attention at home, so you decided to give international fame a try? Jesus fucking Christ. It started as goddamn therapy, if you actually care. Tim threw back. Because apparently repressing your thoughts and feeling has a negative impact on your mental health. And what was I supposed to do? Talk to you people? In this family? Jason stood back a bit, folding his arms and inspecting Tim. He glared right back before throwing up his hands and storming past. I'm not having this conversation. He growled over his shoulder. What I do with my time is my business. It's not my fault you're so good at ignoring everyone else in this family. What the fuck? When the hell did you get so pissed, Tim? You're always rolled over, he scoffed. Yeah, I know. I have always sacrificed for everyone else. You think I like being the doormat, doing everything without complaint, following all the stupid rules and being perfect all the time? Damien hurts someone and is let off with a warning that never gets followed up on. I hurt someone and have to sit through the stupid course on acceptable levels of violence. You fucking kill people, and Bruce just gets the little dip in his brow and sighs. I don't think Dick is even capable of doing something wrong in Bruce's eyes. But me? Oh, nope. I have to be on top of everything all the time. I have managed a company practically on my own since I was 17. And does anyone care? No. So yeah, I'm pissed because I already know that none of you actually give a damn or think I'm competent. Competent? What the hell? Jason actually looked confused, which was rich. Why wouldn't we think you're competent? Tim stopped and stared at him with dead eyes. I told you that Bruce was still alive, and you wanted to put me in Arkham. Forgive me if that's not a ringing endorsement of your apparent opinions of me. He spun around again, trying everything to not break into a run. His heart was pounding in his ears, and he knew that if Kon wasn't listening before, he probably was now. Unless he was in the sound muffling room to work on his bass line. Tim, goddammit, Tim, wait! No, he bit out. Absolutely not. Earlier, what the hell did you mean Murdered Muse wasn't a good pick? Tim burst out laughing with no amusement and spun around. Because it's about you, Jason. He's been murdered, my muse is dead, and that's if he wasn't just in my head. Do you know how fucking excited and relieved I was when I figured out you were alive again? Finally, Robin, my Robin, could come back and take his rightful place, and I wouldn't have to be the crutch holding Batman up. And then you tried to kill me. He scoffed and ignored Jason's blank face. Never meet your heroes, right? Tim? He spun around, Shit, when had they made it to the living room? Why hadn't he noticed that most of the damn family was there? How? Steph's face was screwed up in confusion. How is Murdered Muse about Jason? Tim stared at her and breathed out. Whatever at this point, right? Because I wrote it. Can't See Me is literally about this, how none of you really know what I'm like. Did you know I have a photography hobby that I haven't had time for between vigilante work and the company? Not to mention the band. I still have pictures of the city and her heroes from the days of Dick and Jason. The entire Workforce Heroes album is about the company, actually, specifically the board and their garbage. That song from the Topaz album you like? That's Bart's song about the time travel. Cassie's song on the Ruby album is the pressure of being perfect and living up to a legacy. Wait, Jason said weakly. What about... Tim smiled sweetly. Dark Indulgence? Your favorite song? Figured you'd like that one, even if you have no idea what it's about. Bruce furrowed his brow. Tim, you write music? That's great. Tim pinched the bridge of his nose and ignored him. More of the same shit anyway. You guys remember when the evil Batman from an alternate timeline showed up? Yeah, I figured out I was the only one who noticed, but that just proves me right again, because that Batman was me. So yeah, I know exactly what happens if I walk too close to the edge of the cliff. This is ridiculous, Damien scoffed. You seem to be implying that you are a member of the Dragon's Keep. We would notice such a thing, and I doubt you could produce such musicality. Ruin everything, just go bad. See the other side, give it all I have. Need the rest of the song? Or maybe the one about dear old Raish? Damien stiffened. What about grandfather? Dick raised his hands. Wait. Tim's in that band you all like? The angry one? How would we have missed this? Tim rolled his eyes. Because I'm the extra, the replacement. I sometimes disappear for days and you don't notice. I could absolutely hide this from you. I got sloppy, and that's the only reason Jason figured it out. Figured, hey, why not just fucking tell everyone? Why not? What song about grandfather? Damien demanded. What did you mean? Tim pinched the bridge of his nose. Not your treasure. Raish has been stalking me since I was 15, and I got tired of his semi-regular letters trying to recruit me. Or propose. I wouldn't know. I stopped reading them years ago. Steph held up a hand. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little. Why is he stalking you? Tim shrugged. Pop quiz. Which organ am I missing? I'll give you a hint. Raish has it. Bruce was half standing. You're missing an organ? Tim, you need to go to the hospital. Tim sighed. It's been missing for years, B. If I need to go to the hospital, I would have already. Anyway, no guesses? The correct answer was spleen. For a reason I don't feel like getting into, Raish removed it to save my life. As soon as I woke up, he told me to join him. So I left and blew up his base on the way out. Tim, you could have killed someone. Tim stared at Bruce. Oh, there's no could have about it. I didn't exactly stop to count, but the base was full of assassins. Was being the key word. Damien was busy rebooting, so Tim just turned to Jason and gestured at Bruce in a "do you see this shit" manner. Jason nodded slowly. Okay, so you have a point about the whole violence thing. That's on me. But hey, we can bond over the apparent lack of qualms about murder? Tim pinched the bridge of his nose. I have to get the last tour details sorted. Oh, right. Since people are actually aware, I don't have to use the team mission pretense. Hi, next month I'm leaving. We'll be gone for a month, Tickets go on sale next week. We have new merch, and we're debuting the new album, Caustic Secrets. Bye." He stormed out of the room and didn't look back once. At least they'd have something to talk about at dinner. He successfully avoided everyone until he could hide on the tour bus. Tickets sold out in most locations within 2 hours, and they were all set. Kon was getting a song on this album, I'm Not You, and they were all excited about it. Bart most of all. As far as Tim could tell, the other 4 knew what had happened at the manor, but no one was bringing it up, and Tim was ignoring all their text messages. It was tour time. The only phone he had on him was his band phone, all green and black and nothing like his personal phone. Bart was painting everyone's nails in their traditional concert routine, and Cassie's drawing fingernails mimicked her drum lines. "I'm so glad you know how to write a drum line," Tim said for probably the 400th time. "Because I'm good at doing a pattern, but..." She huffed. "I know, your patterns are good. They just get monotonous after a while. It's fine. You stitch words together just fine. Let us handle our own parts, and you handle yours. Kon, can you fix my hair before Bart gets you?" "Course," Kon snorted. "But you know he's fast enough that he's gonna be done in about 30 seconds. Cassie shrugged. "Sure. You do the best hair, though." "Braid crown?" "Yeah. No hat this time, so I can. The ruby hairpins are really nice." "Red's a good color on you," Bart crooned. "We all picked excellent colors. I'm glad we're playing up the jeweler aspect on this tour. We all look so pretty. And of course, they're all real. Tim." He shrugged one shoulder so he didn't disrupt the nail painting. "I'm not gonna use fake gems on you guys. Besides, they're all lab-grown anyway." "Oh, good. We'll match," Kon snickered, immediately getting hit from 3 sides. The first stop on their tour was bustling with people and teeming with fans, but all of the equipment was set up, and the entire thing went off without a hitch. They breezed through their songs and ended with Kon's, the new one they were using to kickstart the hype for the new album. Each location would have one of the new songs, ending in the 7th location, Gotham, and finishing up the album. The rest of the songs they performed would be a mix of the other albums, but that meant that each location had a unique and special concert. The moment they entered Tim's home city, his nerves tingled. He hadn't meant to switch the playlist up last minute, but this was home. The concert had to be more than the others. 20 songs, including some important ones. Not the Man You're Looking For Dick. Murdered Muse, for Jason. Middle Schoolers Don't Deserve Rights, for Damien, the little shit. Bubbly, Not Meant to Be, for Steph. Can't See Me, and Missing Pictures, for himself. And finally, the last song on their newest album, Hiding in Plain Sight, for all of them. He managed to make it through his songs, the entire concert lasting 2 hours, and then it was over. The month-long tour was finished, and all they had to do now was the backstage meet and greet, and then Tim would go back to his regular work for the next several months. Business as usual. Cassie smiled around the rose she was holding up to her face and mocking Bart with. "I'm just a lady killer," she taunted. "I've gotten way more flowers than you." Bart scowled. "Kobe got way more." She waved him off. "Cobalt doesn't count. Flowers, George." Kon looked mildly alarmed. "Am I eating them?" Tim snickered. 30 seconds to get your shit together, guys. Make sure all your accessories are pinned down. We don't need a repeat of Star City." Bart shuddered. "They got way too handsy. I'm almost glad they were after the jewels instead of anything else." The clamor of their fans approached, and they all smiled instinctively, ready to greet people. Everyone had their favorites, so it was mostly evenly divided, people switching between. It was a lot of schmoozing and autograph signing, but they were all well practiced in their personas and interacting with fans. "Hey." He froze. "I gotta say." Jason stretched as Steph eagerly handed her CD case over to be signed, practically bouncing. "I think I have to change my, bias? Yeah, to Ruby." Tim snorted. "You just like her mom." "Well, I'll never live it down if you're my bias, so..." "Give up, Todd," Damien scoffed. "Your favoritism has long since been revealed. Identity should not influence your choice, even if you are seeing the superior band member at last." "Topaz is still my favorite." Steph waved at the gold-clad member in question, who was looking a little bewildered. "But you're pretty cool, too. Is Bubbly mine?" Tim laughed quietly. "Figured that out, did you?" "Do not let her fool you." Damien rolled his eyes. "She spent the last month obsessively re-listening to previous albums trying to determine their inspirations." She snickered. "So did you." "We all did." Jason noogied them both to loud protests. "Shut up. More of us were gonna come." He looked up at Tim. "The tickets sold fast, and we only managed to get 3. Duke and Dick said we should be the ones to go. The original fans." "You didn't have to," he said quietly. "I know we didn't exactly part on speaking terms." "We were already talking about buying tickets," Steph pouted. "And besides, that just meant we had to come. The only reason we didn't show up to every single concert on the tour was because, it turns out, Gotham was the only one that didn't sell out in 10 minutes, and we refused to buy the upcharged $10,000 tickets that were being resold." Con choked from 5 feet away from them, and Tim blinked. "That's a substantial increase." She shrugged. "They got bought out pretty quick, too. Stans are insane." "Coming from a Rupaz stan?" Bart called over. "That means nothing." She groaned. "I didn't know. I'm sorry. And Jason was worse." Jason groaned as all 4 band members chorused. "We know." Damien sniffed. "Congratulations on your 2-year anniversary, Dragon." Tim smiled. "Thanks, middle schooler." Jason barked out a laugh. "Yeah, that one was my favorite. Gonna have that on repeat." Damien furrowed his brow. "I do not understand. I'm a middle schooler, it is true, but aside from the song about stripping our human rights, which I agreed with for all my classmates, they are true degenerates." Tim sighed, letting out a breath he didn't know he was holding, and smiled softly. Maybe Dinah had a point about this whole music therapy thing. And that is all for this fic. When I read this first, I was absolutely enraptured. Then, when I found out that the author, Itslivybear, who I can't pronounce the name right, or at least I didn't the first time, and now I'm insecure every time I say it, actually made music for this. Like that bit with in the middle, kind of, where it was like almost the whole song. That wasn't me poorly trying to come up with melodies to try to sing their lyrics to. That was me listening to their song and trying to do what they did, because they made multiple. And it is good. I have Dark Indulgence on my playlist. I listen to it like regularly. Like they have multiple. They've got Murdered Muse, Bubbly, and Sleeping, plus Dark Indulgence. Those are the ones that they've like made songs for as of now, and they're good. I totally recommend listening to them. It is so amazing when I like finished reading. And first of all, the fic is amazing. I love it so much. After this, I went on a binge of just trying to find any like band fic AUs, or there was like a streamer one that I read as well that was good. But this is the best one that I've read. It's the first, and it's just so good, and it's got that like emotional kick as well. And yeah, it's just so good. I tried my best with the singing bits, especially with trying to come up with just short melodies to do part of it, the part 2, because yeah, to my knowledge, there's no like posted song for like Raisha's song Creepy Motherfucker. That Creepy Motherfucker is so creepy anyways, but a lovely song for that. But yeah, I tried my best to just come up with something. Anyway, I love this fic so much, and I still absolute delight podficking it. And also just a weird thing, I've been recording for like an hour. This is an hour long. Well, I think I've probably been recording for like 2 hours. The recording is an hour long, but anyway, recording does that, especially when I'm trying to do voices and sing. Takes twice as long. But anyway, when I went to go listen to, I don't think I was listening, I was looking for something to do with their song, because their songs are posted on like AO3, linked to I think SoundCloud, and they're also on like YouTube Music, which is where I listen to music. But anyway, I was on AO3 trying to look, so I had like some tabs up, but I was gonna open a new one to look at a different one, and it's like, archive is down for maintenance. Oh no. But I'm here with this lovely fic I've been podficking the whole time. It has kept me tied over for now. It is coming to an end, and my voice is too dead to do the other one I want to podfic, and I don't even have it on the right thing. And but it tied me over for a bit. Hopefully AO3 comes back up soon. Please. My wife has gone off to war. When shall she return? I'm gonna go on Tumblr after this and watch all the screaming. Anyway, that is all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. My voice is so dead. As always, link to the fic is in the description. Go check out the original to go leave a kudos, a comment, whatever you can, and go check out the music they made. It's good. I like it. It's in my playlist. Anyway, yeah, that is all for now. I will see you guys next time. Actually, quick little blooper for you here. Just their second album literally has a song. Clowns.